Hi.
Hey, everybody. It's Thursday night. It's another edition of Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. I am Steve Kress. I am with It's All About the Barbecue. And during the week, you can find me at Wanamaker's in lovely, beautiful downtown Downers Grove, Illinois. And the person next to me is her favorite co-host. Favorite guest co-host is Michelle O'Gwin with Ain't It the Life Barbecue and Firewoman Champion and Final Table Contestant and Murfreesboro MBN Champion, and yeah, there's a whole bunch. It's so much. I mean, you have like a whole ladder, a whole list of things, unlike Ryan, to rattle off. You know what I mean? Ryan's just got the griddle battle. So,
but hey, you still make good burgers.
I make great burger. I made a great burger, and oh man, I'm having a field day here with trying to get things. Ryan, I do miss you only because of the fact I can't get any of this stuff to work.
The technology thing is not your forte.
On my phone here, I'm trying to get the phone because I want to share it out to so many millions and thousands of viewers and all this other stuff. Hold on one quick second. I just figured it out. I only got like 2 places to share it to. So
I'm trying to inhale my dinner.
Michelle's trying to eat dinner. As you can see, she was definitely, I think it was a 4:00 text. So it was definitely a very, very last minute request. Christopher says, good evening, Christopher. Let's get, before I switch everything around, let's do our sponsors because we got to get those out of the way. And I think, Ryan, hopefully this is the right video.
Got the OG Bandits, Melinda's Hot Sauce, Spitfire Grills, Steak Ager, Southern Pride Barbecue Smokers, Genuine Chicken Roaster, Marble Ridge Farms, Wood Food Systems, and Smoky Woods.
Wow, look at that. See, Michelle, last time you were here, there were no sponsors. And now
you definitely upped your video game.
Oh, sure, but that's Ryan. You know that ain't me. It's all Ryan. All right, Michelle. So anyway, we got a good guest on today this week, a friend, a man who has been to Wanamaker's, which is like being to the mountain. It's almost better than being to Memphis in May, I guess. Maybe even better than the American Royal. I lie. It's not as good as any of those. But still, he's been there. And let's catch up with him. It's been a long time since he's been on the show. We're going to have Richard Fergola on here from Fergolicious BBQ. Last time he was on, he was up here cooking at the Sean Young's competition out there in Yorkville. So it had been a while. So let's catch up and bring on Mr. Fergie himself. Ferg, how you doing, buddy?
How's it going, man?
I know it's been a long time. Like I said, last time you were on the show, you were up here cooking at Sean Young's competition over there in Yorkville. I don't even remember what it was called because he hasn't done it. He's not doing it, I don't think, anymore. And I can't remember. It's like Smoke something.
Saluting with smoke.
Saluting with smoke. There it was.
Yeah.
And you were part of the Battle of the Branches and all that other stuff, I believe, weren't you?
Yeah, I won the contest.
I know you won the whole thing.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Well, I'm not a military guy. But I love helping. I love doing stuff with military and veterans. I love that stuff. So I got to work with the Marines, and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing that. So
yeah. So, and then you were at the class at Wanamaker's, which was a great time. I hate to tell you, if you're anywhere near any of Fergie's classes, sometimes he partners up with Sterling Smith from Loot and Booty. Yep. But they do a fantastic class, totally worth everything that it costs. So get to those. But what have you been up to lately? What do you got new, and what's happening?
I mean, it's more like what's not happening. I mean, I just flew in about an hour ago from Fargo. I've been there the last 3 days doing the Shields Barbecue University. This is my 4th year doing that event. I'm there as part of OWS, Old World Spices, who makes my seasonings and many others. So we were up there. Basically, we get paired up with 3 to 4 Shields employees from around the country. And then we basically take them through a brisket cook. So we cook 2 briskets. We cook a Snake River Farms Wagyu, and then we cooked a Double R Ranch Prime. We have a actual box turn in. brisket, and then we do a people's choice. And so our team was fortunate enough to get third in brisket and brought home the little Shields Barbecue University trophy. That was fun. But other than that, I'm just full-time Fergolicious now. I've been doing classes all over the country. Haven't done any competing. I've just been hitting the Ace Hardware show, Orgill show, True Value, Do It Best classes. That's what I'm doing all the time right now. So
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. It's
or I'm sorry.
no, it's great. It's great. I mean, I don't answer to anybody. I'm my own boss.
Yep.
I get to, it is a lot of work. A lot of people thinking, oh, you're not going to a job, but
it's more work.
You got it. I mean, I'm constantly on my phone. I'm constantly on my laptop, making connections, and just trying to make things happen and set things up. And I've got a lot of things in the works, some things that haven't been announced yet, that I'm super excited about this year and just continuing to grow. So
I totally know the feeling, man.
Yeah.
You're always welcome to announce those things here on the show as kind of like a practice, because I mean, there's a lot of things that get introduced on the show here that people don't. Michelle, I don't know if you saw last week's show. We played the little snippet because Michelle was the co-host when Susie from Hey Grill Hey announced accidentally, I think, let it slip out, but then and with it announced that she was coming out with the grilling gloves back in December, and here, lo and behold, they just came out. So a lot of people, I think, use this show as like a practice as to how they look on screen when they make the announcement and all that other stuff.
Some of it's we announce it when we're allowed to.
Well, some of it is, but of course, as Michelle said in that clip, it's like Susie's the owner; she can do whatever she wants. So
yeah,
you're the boss too. So
yeah, well, the one thing that I haven't announced yet, I kind of it's happening, but I have to wait until they say it's okay. But I'm really excited about it. A couple of things that I have announced. Well, obviously, I'll be at Smoke Slam for the second year in a row this year. That's in a few weeks. Me and Mike Johnson, my boy from Sugar Fire, and Tank Jackson from Holy City Hogs, where we team up for Swinentology. So we'll be there doing that event again. I'm pretty excited about that. I'll be at both events, actually. I'll be cooking at Smoke Slam. I'll also be at Memphis in May doing Home Depot's booth for both Royal Oak and Old World. So I'll be cooking over there for that as well. I got Royal Oak coming up in a couple weeks. We'll be out there in Atlanta filming some commercials and doing some stuff for them. And there's more classes. I think I announced that I'll be in Canada in August doing a class there and cooking a double contest there. So I'm going to get to cook I'm going to get to compete in another country for the first time in my career. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, if you need anything at Memphis in May, give me a holler.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Wow. What are the categories? Is it Canada got the same categories as
it's KCBS. It's a KCBS double. Yep. It's I'm going to teach I think I'm teaching pork and ribs class, comp KCBS comp pork and ribs. There's a store in Edmonton, Alberta called You Need a Barbecue. And actually the owner of that has taken my class down here before in Kansas City. And so I'm going to go teach a class at his place on that Thursday night. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and about 2 hours away in Calgary, I'm going to get to cook a double there. So, and they're a Yoder dealer, so I'll get to cook on Yoders. So I'm pretty excited about that. I guess one class I haven't announced yet is I'm going to be in that same month in August. I'm going to be at Heat Exchange in Ridgeville, Ohio, basically Cleveland, doing a rib extravaganza class. So it's going to be all ribs, beef short ribs, baby backs, spares.
All things ribs.
What's that?
All things ribs.
All things ribs. And going to be doing that class there on August 16th, I believe. I haven't put that out on my socials yet. So there you go. There's an exclusive on that one on your show. Nice. So yeah, the other one, I wish I could say something right now, but I kind of got to just wait a couple more minutes. Sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got 50. So we'll see how long we can outlast you. But yeah, just so everybody knows, I'm going to tell you, because we had the class with Smitty and Fergie at Wanamaker's. And I'm going to tell everybody right now who's watching. He just announced a whole bunch of classes. Please don't wait to the very last week to sign up, because everybody's making plans, trying to figure out travel arrangements, all this other stuff, how many people they're cooking for and this and that. It makes it very difficult to have 3 or 4 people signed up. And then all of a sudden the last week you have like 10 or 15 or something like that. So please, if you see the class up there, get in there. They are worth it. Don't wait, just do it. So that's my class insight. Yeah,
that's a really good point. I mean, if you're a person that's, looking for a class and you definitely know you want to take a class, I mean, it definitely shortens the learning curve big time. My next class is actually a week from today at a store called The Grill Guys in Republic, Missouri, down by Springfield. And I'll be doing backyard ribs and brisket there. And they can sign up at, I think it's grillguys417.com, or they can just call that store called The Grill Guys in Republic, Missouri. And those have been going really well, just doing brisket and ribs. It's, it's the 2 most sought after proteins that people want to learn about in classes. And I mean, I think it's the 2 proteins that you can mess up really easy if you're not quite sure what you're doing. So that's my next class coming up. And then I've got another one at the end of May. Basically, the one next Thursday is May 1st. So that's a class kicking off National Barbecue Month. So if you want to get signed up for that one, I'll be there.
Yeah, no, your classes are great. And then Christopher did say that, if I can get this to work right today, Ferg's classes are so worth it. And I totally agree. I mean, they were watching you and Smitty cook was just absolutely amazing. Effortless. It was so effortless, so easy, so smooth. And the food was amazing when it was done. I don't know how you guys do it, but of course it's a lot of practice, but. So.
Well, I think it's, I mean, we were just talking about that this week up there at Shields, because there were a lot of us up there. Myself, Fred Robles, Bill Purvis, Robert Smith, Luke Darnell, Jeff Vanderlinde. I mean, lots of studs, you know what I mean? Lots of great cooks. And somebody was talking about, Tuffy Stone. Him and I were sitting out by our pits for, I don't know, a couple of hours talking about Memphis in May and just all kinds of different things and talking about practice. And that's one thing I've never really done, because I mean, really, if you're going to do that, it's to kind of understand your timing and your color, when your color comes in at that time. But you were talking about us being effortless. I think one thing that I always share in my classes, especially my comp classes, is I'm a huge advocate for being stress-free when you're at a competition. And with that comes just cooking more. And when I mean cooking more, I mean cooking at more contests, more events when you're under the gun and you have to perform, you know what I mean? And when you're forced to perform and you're under the gun and you've got a timeline and you know what you got to do, that's when that's what I call like steel sharpening steel, getting that timeline down so well that when you do things like that in a class, it is effortless because you already know what's coming, right? I mean, I think that's where a lot of people that are just starting in comp barbecue or even just cooking in your backyard, if you don't know what the next couple steps are, then you're going to be stressing and you're going to be, running around trying to figure things out. When you do know what's coming next, you just sit back and relax, crack a beer, and you're good. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So yeah, if you're into competition barbecue, whether you're a seasoned veteran or just like backyard guy thinking of going, these classes are definitely, they're full of knowledge. They're full of tricks and tips. And like I said, I mean, you guys make the boxes. They look so excellent with like just very little. Amazing.
Yeah. That takes a lot.
I'll be honest. A lot of the barbecue pre-planning and pre-checklist and getting your crap in order and organized is almost like 90% of the battle when it comes to that stuff. So just learning that part and how to organize yourself and not, like you said, not stress yourself out. And that is by being organized and not just going willy-nilly on what you're doing.
Well, 100% agree. That's, if you roll into a comp and you don't have a plan, you're already behind the 8 ball. And contests like Memphis in May and Smoke Slam, even more important because there's so much going on. It's so complex. There's so many, so many moving parts. If you don't have a plan, you're just going to be, like I said, you're kind of screwed from the beginning if you don't have one.
Well, you're competing against the best cooks in the world too at that point, even between the both of them, to be honest with you. I mean, you have the people that know what they're doing. This is not backyard cook time for those two events. I mean, we do have a patio division at Memphis and May. That's where those backyard cooks can go into and they can work their squeaky wheels out, but
Yeah.
not for the pro division on either side by any means.
No. If you want to hear your name called and you want to have somebody handing you checks, and you want to start to stack trophies, you gotta have a plan. Yep. You got to be serious about that plan, and you got to go and execute that plan on a consistent basis and not be changing stuff up all the time and trying to try this and do this different. You got to find that profile and that plan that works and run it. And I call it a playbook. You got to have that playbook and you got to run it. And I want to say thanks to Chris. Him and his wife took my class a couple of years ago, and they've been absolutely killing it ever since. And so they're two of my favorite people.
So what is your advice for the backyard people that are learning? They've maybe taken a class or they've got some sort of a plan together, but when they need to make micro tweaks to perfect their flavor profile or their tenderness or things like that, what advice do you have for them?
Well, I think for the backyard folks, and when I say backyard, I mean just like the average person cooking at home. I'm not like talking about like a backyard division from a comp standpoint, but I think it comes back to just cooking more. So like if you're really wanting to hone in your brisket skills, just keep cooking briskets. You know what I mean? Like if this is the pit you're cooking on, if you're cooking on a pellet or you're cooking on a stick, and you really want to hone in your skills on that, just keep cooking. Your family's probably gonna get tired of eating brisket after a while. But you got to do it so that it becomes second nature and you know exactly how the meat's going to react. You know the color you're looking for after this amount of time. After you wrap, you kind of know what that's going to feel like when you probe it with your pen, blah, blah, blah. All those things they hold so true even in the backyard. And we talked about that this week while I was up at Shields, because these people I was working with, that's exactly who they are. They are people that are just cooking in their backyard, but they're also people that are working at a store that have customers coming in asking questions about cooking brisket. Yep. And so I'm trying to help them be able to explain that to their customers. And I think that's just the biggest thing. If you only cook 1 or 2 briskets a year, you're never going to get good at it. I mean, it's right. You're never going to understand how that meat reacts to heat. You're never going to understand temperatures, times, internal temps, color, feel, how it slices, all that stuff. It just comes from cooking and cooking and cooking. And I think I can't relay that message enough to both backyard people and comp people. You have to cook. You have to cook. You have to cook. You have to cook.
It's also knowing your grill.
No, yeah, absolutely. That's going to come from doing all that cooking. And that's why I mentioned, if you're cooking on a Yoder 640 comp cart pellet, understanding, okay, it's a little hot over here. I should put a water pan here. I'm going to cook up on the upper rack first, and then I'm going to bring it down. All of those things only come from doing it over and over again. And then if you're running a stick burner, like an offset or whatever, fire management to me is like the biggest thing when it comes to that. Even if you're cooking on like a gateway or whatever, understanding how to control that fire so you have a clean breathing fire, so you're getting the right flavor profiles, you're getting the right color, getting all that stuff, and that just comes from lots of cooking.
Yeah, let me get a little caught up on the griddles and vittles with Nick and Jay. Come on, there we go. I think going back to your cooking a lot, that's how we got our grand championship on the 3rd try. They're referring to the griddle battle, not really a barbecue, not really a barbecue competition.
It still applies. If you're not constantly cooking, you're never going to grow in a
correct.
No matter whether you're doing in kitchen arena rolled food, or if you're doing Blackstone with griddle vittles or smoking meats or SCA, you're not going to get better unless you keep it.
And then Pat says, I took Ferg's class. Awesome. So, I mean, it seems to be an overwhelming response that your classes are awesome, and they are awesome. But I got a question to you though, is how long did it take you to develop your timeline?
Well, when I switched to gravity feeds, I switched to like a Rebel gravity feed first. And then when I switched to a Myron, cause I cooked on the Myron for 8 seasons, that's when I kind of honed in. And when I first started cooking with the Myron, I kind of was doing something a little different where I was lighting it up at like midnight and then putting it on. I didn't quite understand what I was doing yet. And then when I finally figured out, wait, this is a gravity feed. I don't need to put meat on it right away. I can just start it up like an oven and go to bed and then get up in the middle of the night and put my big meats on and then go back to bed. And when I figured that out, I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. This is where it's at, because then I was able to start my pit at like 8:30 on a Friday night and just let that guru run it, go in my trailer, go to sleep, and wake up at 2:33, put my brisket and my butts on, and then settle it back in and go back to sleep again. And that, when I figured that out, that's when really things started to click, because now I had a timeline where I got to sleep, I got to cook, and my pit was doing the work for me. And I ran that forever.
Yeah. So I think that's the hard. It's just developing the timeline that works for you, because you guys all keep it like a guard. Sean keeps his like a little guarded secret. I mean, the class, when he does the class, it's a different thing, but his competition one is like,
well, I mean, it really depends on what kind of pit you're cooking on. If you're cooking on drums, you're just going to get them all set up the night before, and then you're just going to go to sleep and sleep all night long. And then you're going to get up at about 5 and light them, and then you're up for the day. You know what I mean? So, because you're going to be cooking so much faster, like that brisket I cooked yesterday up there on a gateway, that brisket was done in, 4.5, 5 hours. Wow. And so, when you can do that, and your brisket turn in's not until 1:30, that's when you can still get your cook in, you can get your wrap in, and you can get your rest period in, and you're still good.
That's why them KCBS people like to take a nap.
Yeah. So it's obviously things are different when you're cooking MBN and those kind of things, but that timeline is very important. But I think it just comes down to like what Michelle said earlier. Whatever you're cooking on, you got to get to know that cooker really well. And you'll just know, okay, I know my briskets on this pit, they get the color I need in 4 hours. And then I'm going to wrap at 4 hours. And then that's another 2 hours to temp out. So there's 6 hours. And then it goes in my Cambro for about 3. That's my timeline. I know that. And when you run that a couple of times and it's successful and your results are there, then you just double down on that and keep doing it.
So my question is for those that do the drums, do you guys have to factor weather and humidity into those cooks for your adjustments?
I really have not. I don't cook on drums full time. I mean, I have 4 of them myself, but and I have competed on them with ribs. Mm-hmm. These things are not really affected by much at all. I mean, it was cold in Fargo yesterday, and I mean that thing was running at 325 without a problem. They don't get affected by weather really. And we were kind of like inside. I had a little bit of protection, but those things just run like champs, and they're not insulated or nothing, but that fire is buried down, below. So it's protected, and the air is not being really affected much because they're flat. So it's pretty hard to mess up on a gateway.
I just remember when I first got into barbecue, and I ain't gonna date myself. But I remember these old fellas that would get those moving blankets and wrap their smokers up to keep from the weather affecting their smokers for so long before the backwoods came popular and things like that. So
yeah,
that's where that question came from.
I seen that a lot with people that were cooking on offsets, like they didn't have insulated fireboxes, like Langs and like Horizons and things like that. I there's times where I've seen people putting those welding blankets on them. And trying to protect it, because it was just eating so much fuel up. But haven't seen that in a long time. I think a lot of people have picked up their game and advanced. And there's so many classes you can go to nowadays, and so much stuff on the internet. People are like, oh, I'm gonna go get that smoker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah, I think you just have the old school guys that still do those, maybe, and they're starting to fade out due to age. But I get that.
Yeah.
Griddles and Vittles reacting to my griddle battle comment. Wow, Steve, feeling the love. I'm just kidding, guys. They did the griddle battle. I did judge it towards, I think it was September of last year. They made some pretty cool ass stuff. And I can tell you the griddle battle is actually pretty cool. I pick on Ryan all the time. He's not here, so he won't get to hear me say it, but I think it's a pretty cool event. I'll only say that when he's not here, but I think it's pretty cool.
I just like competitive cooking no matter what.
Yeah, I do too. I actually just cooked on a griddle yesterday for our People's Choice. We did we turned in a brisket grilled cheese. And so
nice.
I had one right behind our spot, and we were doing cheddar and pepper jack with the brisket. And then instead of grilled cheese and a tomato soup, which is traditional. We did a grilled cheese and a barbecue sauce that they could dunk it in, and it was fire.
Nice. Well, the only reason why I liked it was that it was more. I mean, obviously, I've gone to the KCBSs and that, and it's obviously the normal barbecue stuff. This was like freestyle in it. I mean, it was like breakfast. It was like anything. I mean, you had so many different dishes and things done so many different ways, and that it was kind of fun judging the thing because you didn't know what was going to be on the plate. It wasn't like, oh, here's another set of ribs. What do they look like? Here's another set of ribs. What do they look like? Now what do they? I mean, it was like, wow, look what this person did. I mean, the artisticness and the creativity that it brought. So it's a pretty cool event. So
yeah, awesome. I'm with Michelle. I like to competitively cook too, and I'm not doing as many comps right now. I'm just kind of doing the bigger ones. Just because I'm so busy doing other stuff, building my, trying to promote my brand more. So,
which is a good brand.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I'm enjoying the live fire because it's not necessarily just barbecue. You can do anything on a live fire table.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm enjoying
That's what I want to explore is live fire because I think it's just cool the way all that stuff cooks. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's like, caveman, and you're cooking over real fire and it flames shooting up, but I don't know what it is. But it's just, I just think it sounds like I really want to do that.
It's like camping cooking, but you don't have to bend over.
That's even better.
Your back, for us that are at our age, our backs appreciate that a little bit better.
I like that. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's my boy Al Fergoni will be doing a whole live fire thing at Smoke Slam. He'll have all his peoples out there doing that. It's a pretty cool show. He's really good at that. He's really good at that.
He judged me at Rolled Food for both my opening and my final round, and he's the reason why I won it because he gave me the good confidence vote, and he's the only reason I made it to the final round. So I love him to death for that. And I will definitely be in Hondo, Texas, come November. So
at his deal, yeah, that's awesome, man.
I don't have enough vacation time.
Yeah, I'll be hanging with him and Mike Starr.
Yeah, Mike was just with me this week too, here up there in Fargo too. His stuff's made by the same company that makes mine. So
yeah. Y'all all through Home Depot, right?
Old World Spices.
And then, but they put them through the Home Depot.
Oh yeah, they put all our two of each of our rubs, every brand in 1,100 Home Depots across the country.
There you go. So I will
just so all you people out there understand, Home Depot's only putting 2 of each. If you go to the great store Wanamaker's in Downers Grove, I think I have a Fergs. I think I have at least 4, if not 5. I don't even remember how many you have, but I have almost all of them.
I have 6.
6. I think I got 5.
Well, you're missing one then, dude.
I know. Well, I got to get rid of everybody used to come in and buy Fergie's rubs because I still have some of the old Fergolicious labels that I have to work through. I think some of them I have switched over to the new Fergola rub, and I do have to say, and just as a comment, because I know that a lot of people, we'd be talking labels for the last couple of years of people coming out with new stuff. I do like the label. I like that you've gone more simpler, and I like that the flavors are listed right on the bottle. I know the older ones, they had more of like a name to it, like American Pie or Smoke Show, and it's harder for the lay person, I guess, because as I was speaking to somebody, I think we were saying that 80% of the people that are going to buy your stuff are not competition cooks, and they're looking for the easiest label that they can read. And I love the new label. So get into Wanamaker's or your local barbecue place, and even Home Depot if you have to. But check out Richard's stuff or Fergie's stuff. So
thank you. Definitely.
I called you Richard. I don't think I've ever called you like Rich. I called you Rich on accident for some reason.
That sounded weird. Everybody calls me Ferg or Fergie.
I know. I'm just like, where did that come out of?
Or they call me. I start singing the song. Or they call me this too.
Rich Mahogany. That's probably why I came out with Rich, because we were joking about Rich Mahogany, and that we should have called the rubs Rich Mahogany. I did. That was kind of, I don't think I've ever called you Rich. And then,
anyway. I just start singing the song in my head.
Yeah.
What's that? Rich Mahogany. Fergolicious.
That's what.
Well, you might
everybody
as well tell everybody the story then, Fergie, since we bring up good old the other Fergie. Why you had to change the name of your rubs, because that's why I have two labels. I have the Fergolicious one, and then I have the two or three have flipped over to the new label. So
yeah, so I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, I went to trademark Fergolicious BBQ and got denied because of Stacey Ferguson, Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas. And so then my attorney appealed it, and we went back and we got more specific, saying I'm in barbecue, she is not. And then they came back and denied it again. So then Old World hit me up here about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and just started suggesting, I think we need to make a change. A couple reasons was, places like Home Depot only want trademarked products on their shelves. That was one reason. And then they just felt like maybe the consumer was getting a little confused by the name Fergolicious, thinking it was her, blah, blah, all those kind of things. And that was a very difficult thing for me to do. Very, very difficult, because I've built that name up from scratch. My son, who's 20 years old now, but when he was 6, he's the one that came up with my team name, Fergolicious. So what I ended up doing was, my competition team name is still Fergolicious. My brand is Richard Fergola Barbecue Seasoning. So we were able to compromise a little bit. And the story on the new labels even says Richard Fergola of Fergolicious Barbecue. And I'm kind of doing that with my merch now too. It's kind of like, I don't know, you can kind of see, that's the RF barbecue. That's kind of my logo. And on my new shirts, it's going to be, brought to you by Fergolicious, that kind of thing. I'm kind of trying to do that, because that's just how everybody knows me, So I want to keep building that, because it's taken me 12 years to get that name known like it is. So
yeah,
I like Michelle.
Hey,
Michelle's got the active background.
Yeah, well, it's beer time. But no, you're doing good when you're getting hit up by celebrities saying don't use my name.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, my barbecue team name is Ain't It the Life, and that's a Foo Fighters song, and we ain't got called yet.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Maybe.
Talk about Dave Grohl right there, right?
Yep, he's at Memphis in May every now and then. If you run into him, just
well, he's only there with Beach Pig with Billy Terrell. So Billy has historically been at Smoke Slam since Smoke Slam started. So
okay.
So if he's going to be in Memphis, he'll be down there with Billy, because that's his buddy.
Gotcha.
Well, I told either one of you. I mean, you have my phone number. I've been trying, as Michelle knows, I've been trying to get him on this show.
The only person I know that has this number is Melissa Cookston's the only person I know that has his number.
To talk about his barbecue. I mean, he does all that cooking and almost like an OBR type of thing, where he does a lot of cooking for the homeless. And I think that's pretty cool, and it ties in with the barbecue. And I'm sure there'd be some Foo Fighter and that kind of stuff. You talk too, but I mean, but more thing it would be that barbecue side. I'm curious about it. What got him into all that? I mean, you don't picture a rock star sitting behind a big offset cooking food.
Oh, Brandon, do you know
people.
why Dave Grohl said he'd like to start cooking barbecue? Do you remember what he told us? Dave Grohl.
What about it?
About him cooking barbecue? Do you remember what he said when we talked to him?
He likes it.
He just likes it.
He likes it. What do you want me to say? I mean, he said he likes cooking barbecue, and it's a good reason to drink while he's doing it.
No, I guess that's a good reason. I mean,
that's a good reason.
And I think he picked it up more when COVID happened, honestly.
Yeah.
Because everybody had some downtime. They weren't touring much. And then, obviously, when Taylor died, he needed something to focus on and redirect his energy.
But he likes whiskey and barbecue, so there you go.
There you go.
Those kind of go together. And then our good friend, the chairman of the board, Mr. Ryan Hoagland, is watching. Well, that's good, Ryan, that you came on at this time. You didn't hear all the good things I said.
Hi, Ryan.
Your griddle battle. So
I miss you.
Nobody else does, but Michelle misses you. only because she could have been sitting outside having drinks and enjoying herself, and she's
I
got to
could be
be on a
watching
show.
the draft. The draft is on right now.
Oh yeah, the draft is today. Anybody have it on? Because I'm curious to see. Last year, I think we did a show on the draft too, and I had to update people as to who was picking.
They're
was
watching
picking-
it outside, and the Grizzlies start in an hour. So
Oh, well, whatever. Anyway, so back to barbecue. What's your favorite thing to cook, Smitty? I'm Smitty. Now I called you Smitty.
Damn.
Jesus, God, from Rich to Smitty to Fergie.
timeout.
God. It's only coffee, people.
Mine's not, and I knew the right name.
God, that's
My favorite thing to cook is brisket and ribs, probably.
Hence
one
the
do you think
classes he teaches.
Yeah,
no,
I just love
well,
cooking. I just love cooking
did-
those two meats.
He did chicken at Wanamaker's. I don't know why we picked chicken, but
It's cheap.
you guys did
We did chicken and
No.
brisket. We did chicken and brisket.
chicken and brisket.
Yeah,
I think it's because chicken. A lot of people just don't do chicken, and I think there's a lot of work to chicken. I think you did the thighs, and then
he did wings.
and Smitty did wings. That other guy did wings.
Did you do comp style?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a comp class.
Okay, yeah. People want to learn how to do comp chicken because everybody hates it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so it was. I thought that would be. I thought that would be a good class because a lot of people want to know how to make those perfect little, thighs, the little
Yep.
squares, little
Yep.
rectangles. So,
Yeah.
but you got any new flavors of rubs coming out that you think, or
No,
you're pretty
still have
much-
my main six, just promoting those and trying to move those some more. And like I said, they're available at places like Wanamaker's, your local barbecue supply store, Home Depot, Shields, or you can, and hopefully they're going to start getting back into Ace Hardwares too, and True Values, Do It Best, Rural Kings, and then also obviously you can order from my website too at fergolicious.bbq.com. So I'm just trying to concentrate on those six. I've got some other stuff in mind, but it's just not the time for that right now. So
Hey,
Yeah, it's a,
smart growth.
yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your favorite
I
go-to
think-
charcoal?
oh yeah, favorite golden charcoal.
Oh, Royal Oak. I'm a Royal Oak ambassador. I've been with Royal Oak for a very long time. I was using it in the very beginning when I just first started. It's charcoal from Missouri. I love it. I don't use nothing else.
Y'all heard it.
Yep,
If you want to cook like Fergie, use Royal Oak.
exactly. It won my world championship. It's won every grand champion I've had. I've won everything I've won has been on Royal Oak charcoal. So, I've been very successful with that. With their lump, I use their their all natural briquettes every now and then, depending on what I'm cooking, and their tumbleweeds are the best.
I do sell a lot of
I
tumbleweed.
can unofficially say that because B&B will kick my butt.
Yeah.
But no,
Well-
the little tumbleweeds are nice.
Well,
Yeah,
Michelle's
they're
out.
awesome.
She's out as a B&B sponsor. Out. I'm sending that clip in.
Well, they still need to send me the rest of my stuff, and then we'll talk.
There you go.
What's I do have a lot of your rubs are on the tastings, the sample section for people to taste, and I can't, but people don't. The smoke show. Is that the butter pecan one? The smoke show.
Yep.
That one's really effing good.
Oh, it's dynamite. It's a huge part of my chicken, ribs, and pork profile. I use it in all three. I think that one and my butter and garlic are my two most popular, along with the sweet, the apple cherry, and the honey habanero. Since I switched that name to that one
Yeah.
has really come up big time because now they actually see what that flavor is, because it used to be called Red Hot Love. But now that it's called honey habanero, now everybody's like, oh, I got to give me some of that. And it's a great rub because it's like sweet on the front, little kick on the back. It's a great product.
And guess what? Now that you said the name, that's the one I don't have.
Oh, is the honey habanero?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get. I think it's actually sold out right now until May.
Sounds like a good wing rub.
Oh, it's great on wings. Yep, I used it on the
Yeah.
brisket yesterday.
Well, that would be good on a brisket. I like
Yep.
a little heat on the brisket too. I
Yep.
like the pepper flavor of that, but I like a little heat on my barbecue.
Yeah,
All right, I'm gonna get that. Well, I gotta wait to good old world spice. I love them to death because they carry a great selection, but they increased my minimum that I have to order, and so I gotta wait to. But that'll be on my next run. Will be the red
Honey habanero. Yeah,
honey habanero.
Yeah, there we go. Awesome.
That'll complete it. And then Wanamaker's will have the complete line, which you will not find just about anywhere in the Chicago area. Not at Ace, not at Do It Best, not at Home Depot, not at Lowe's, even if they did carry it. Wanamaker's, the complete selection of barbecue.
Do it. Get the whole set, man. You can get the whole set at Wanamaker's.
You get the whole set. You can get new labels and old labels. Help me out with the old labels. I got to get rid of these old labels.
There you go.
Some of them are getting close. I think the sweet and the used to be the cherry pie, the apple cherry or whatever that.
It's called apple cherry now,
yeah. Those two are the new label. The other ones I still got a bunch of the old labels.
Yeah, run a demo on Saturday and do it with just those rubs and do them for buy 3 get the 4th free or something like that, and you'll move them fast.
Yeah, well, now that they're on the, I've opened a bunch of them now onto the sample station, and I do point them out and have people taste them. And a lot of them is once you taste it, I didn't even realize the smoke show until I opened it up, and I'm like, I gotta taste this thing, and put it on the sample station. Then I tasted it. I was like, holy cow, this is like one of the best rubs on the wall here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's very good, very good.
Well,
And not like anything else, not like any of the other pecan rubs.
No.
If you need to get rid of anything, the ladies of barbecue in June could use some goodie bag swag.
Okay, hit me up.
So it's all female. It's all female rib cook off in Lakeland, Tennessee. So last year we had 30 women.
Yeah. Just hit me up. I mean, I'm not hard to contact, so
I got a hold of them, so
I'll get you in the DM.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I was telling Steve too. I was like, hey, dude, if you need a write-off for the business, just send me some stuff.
Yeah.
Because we do judge goodie bags and cook goodie bags. But yeah, it's a good charity for domestic violence victims and rape victims. So.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Fergie will answer my text. Yeah. Fergie will answer my text. He's pretty easy to get a hold of because sometimes it's some people don't answer. So.
Yeah.
But anyway. So what else you got? I mean, so you got the classes, and then you know what I was going to ask you, because I know we talked about it when you were up at Wanamaker's. What's it like cooking in a real? I mean, I know you're going to Canada, but I know when you and Smitty had just gotten back from Costa Rica, I think, or something like that, right before that class. What is it like? I mean, what is American barbecue like to these other cultures? I mean, they asked you to come down, so they must be, enthused by it.
Yeah, we were like George Clooney and Brad Pitt there, man. It was crazy. There were 35 people there from Costa Rica. We had to have a translator there to translate everything we were teaching. To this day, I'll still say it was one of my greatest experiences in barbecue that I've had since I started on this path. It was awesome. When Smitty and I got done, we sat down on this little concrete wall and opened up an imperial beer, because that's like the official beer of that country, and cheers to each other. And I said, man, I love you, brother. And he said the same thing back. And I go, we just did something really freaking cool. And it was very rewarding. We were cooking on pits we've never cooked on before, cooking with charcoal and wood that we had no clue if it was good or not, cooking meat the brisket that I cooked, had absolutely zero marbling in it. And I had to David Copperfield the out of it.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So it was a great experience. I loved it. And I look forward to doing more of that. So.
I had a question too. I had another question. I guess what? I thought about something else and I forgot it. There was a follow-up to that whole question, and I don't remember what it was now. It'll come back to me. That happens from time to time as we age and we get older, ladies and gentlemen. Your mind I was picturing you and Smitty sitting on that wall drinking that beer, and the question just went right out of my head.
He was wishing he was there.
When I was trimming that brisket and I was injecting it, he just looked at me and said, good luck with that. And then the next day when I was slicing it to put it in the box, he was standing right behind me and he goes, I can't believe what you just did with that brisket. It was almost, it was like a London broil almost. But you know, you make that's part of comp barbecue, man. You pivot, you make changes, you figure it out, and you make things happen. So that's what we did, and the people had a great experience, and we had a great experience. It was epic.
I know the question now. I remembered it. You said you had translators for everything you do. How much work did the translator have to do for when Smitty would get on one of his rolls? Because you know he kind of just. I had to stop
He
him. Freeforms for a while.
So I had to stop him because the translator was looking at me and he was telling me, he's like, "Can you tell him to slow down?" And so I said to Smitty, I go, "Smitty, you gotta say something and then stop and let him translate it and then keep going. You can't just go." And so he figured it out. We had a great time. And, you know, Smitty lives in Scottsdale, so he thinks he knows a lot of Spanish. And so he was like trying to do like Scottsdale Spanish with a bunch of Costa Ricans. And it was pretty funny. We had a good time. We still joke about it. So
Michelle's got a guest. Who's your guest, Michelle?
Wait, cocktail. What?
You just never know. See, this show, you just never know what's going to happen. This
is what happens. This is what happens when you have to be a late last minute co-host.
Yeah. Well, Daniel says, "Go, Richard. Cool stuff."
Oh yeah, yep. I know Dan. He's a good dude, man.
Yeah. And see, he called you Richard. See,
yep.
But he didn't call you Rich.
I go Fergolicious and start singing.
I still can't believe I called you Rich. I can just picture. It's almost like I go on Instagram. I just want to say Steven's Family Barbecue says, "What's up, you all?" and "What's up to you too?" I forget. Unfortunately, everybody, Instagram does not show up on my screen, so I have to have it on the sides, like side screen over here. And I don't see the comments all the time, so don't think that I didn't forget about you. But I can just see it's like almost like the sign language person and stuff trying to. As Smitty's going, I could just see this person trying to hold on, you know, and it's just like
that's exactly it. You got it.
Yep. I know you should have taken a video of that. That should have been an Instagram or TikTok winner right there.
It was fun.
You got any more of those that were like to unusual places that scheduled or?
I do.
Is that part of something? Is that part of the?
Yep. I do. It'll be out soon. It'll come out soon.
You almost got it.
Yeah, it's just not quite. I just haven't got the green light yet. So once they have that all, they want to have all their PR and all their marketing and all that stuff ready to go. So before we say anything, that way it's just all out there. So,
well, that's cool. Well, congratulations to that, because that sounds like just at that lucky guess. That sounds pretty damn cool. So I can't wait to see.
It will be the coolest thing I've ever done in barbecue. I assure you of that. It's gonna be freaking awesome.
Mexico.
Huh?
What?
I want to go to Mexico so bad. I want to go.
That's not where I'm going, but
I know, but I want to go there so bad because I'm in live fire land right now.
Yeah, for sure.
That and meat stock. Those are the two things I want to go to so bad.
I'm doing that next year.
I need to put it on my bucket list.
Yep.
Where's meat stock at?
Australia, New Zealand.
Well, they've got one in New Zealand too, and I'm going to do the one in New Zealand.
I want to go to Sydney because I got friends there from previous opportunities. So I want to go to the one in Sydney if I can help it.
I just want to get to more competitions like in the country here. I really want to do Hondo, and I really want to do the Key West one. Baron Burton's, but
I had to give up that one for a live fire event at the end of June at a distillery. So
one day I'll be as lucky as Fergie, and I'll be able to be my own boss or something, and then I can write all that off, and I can just do it as social media, and it's part of my job. But
it's just a little bit more hustle, but you can do it.
Yeah, for sure.
It takes time. That's all I got is time.
And faith in yourself. Time
and faith. No, it's a fun time. Oh, Christopher says can't wait. So it's apparently one of those events is he can't wait. I can't wait to hear where you're going, because now I'm kind of all excited, because if this is the best thing that you're ever going to do or going to do it up to this point, that's even more, because you've done a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
All we can do is follow their shoot airplane photos.
Yeah.
You ever thought? Did you ever give any thought to Fergie sauces?
Yeah, we've already talked about them. It's just I don't want to add something to the plate right now. I just want to concentrate on my 6 rubs and get them continuing to grow and continue to produce. And then when the time's right, then we'll do that.
It's such a crowded field. I mean, you got such great stuff. It's so crowded. The sauces and stuff.
Yeah, sauces is a totally different game too.
So are glazes.
Yep, exactly.
Glazes are getting more crowded by the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I got 4 flipping Cosmo ones. I got 4 flipping Heath Riles ones. I got Susie Bullock ones, and
this is why we didn't do that, because everybody else is already.
I got Big Wicks, and you know what I found out? A very interesting thing, and you guys may know, but of course you're not as far south as Texas. People up here in the Chicago area are not even touching that prickly pear thing. I don't think people up here know what the hell a prickly pear is. He's got a prickly pear glaze. I don't think they know what it is.
Who does?
People up here in Chicago. I mean, I ordered it in because I'm like, well, this is a pretty interesting, cool flavor. I mean, of course, I didn't open it. Big Wicks. He's got a prickly pear glaze, and he's from Texas. And I'm just like, that thing ain't just.
It's their regional flavors. They gotta stick with that.
Yeah, I didn't. And of course, I didn't know that. I mean, but of course, you live and you learn. I thought it would be like, hey, people might be intrigued to try something different in barbecue, because it's always the same. It's all the same. Every single glaze is almost the same. It's an apple cherry habanero. It's a brown sugar. It's this. It's a pineapple. It's a peach. And I'm like, well, here's one that's like really different. And
yeah.
Like the Heath Riles products do not hit well in West Texas. I'll tell you that, because it's not moving off their shelves.
Interesting. There you go, Ferg. Now you know don't do glazes.
Well, I'm not, like I said, I'm not even thinking about any of that stuff right now. I'm like, I got 6 rubs. That's what we're talking about.
You don't have to have a whole alphabet zoo to work with it to make your money.
Right.
Keep it simple, stupid is what I tell people.
Yep, exactly.
What's your favorite thing? What's your favorite thing to cook on? Is it the gateways, or is it the offsets, or is it the Yoder?
I love cooking on Yoders, man. I love cooking on Yoders. I've got gateways too, and I love those as well. But cooking on a Yoder stick or cooking on a Yoder pellet, the 640 comp card is an awesome machine, and I can do whatever I want on it. I can grill, I can smoke, I can do whatever. And they run like champs. So
yeah, they do. We got to replace the electronic guts on ours. We got to replace our electronics on ours, and then it's back to motion. And then I actually won, not a pellet. It's the new one that just came out. Not the Santa Maria, but it's just a flat charcoal, I guess.
Yeah, the flat charcoal. Yeah, I've got one of those too.
I can't even tell you what model that is. I brought it here from World Food, and I haven't touched it yet because it's just World's been busy right now. And then when I do that live fire event in into June, they're doing the Santa Marias that are coming out. We have to cook on those.
Yeah, the Eldorado is what that's called.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna have a good time. That's a 8-team invitational only live fire cook. Yeah,
the Eldorados are fun to cook on. I cooked on them on the TV show Barbecue Country, and then I cooked on them at the Royal for an event we did there. They're awesome.
Yeah, Yoder's been a great product. They're very sturdy.
Yeah,
we're gonna fix up our one that needs electronics changed out, and then we're getting rid of our Traeger. So
yeah, nice. And they're made in Kansas. They're awesome.
Yeah, make room for more grills, right?
What's that?
Make room for more grills.
Yep.
Now, Fergie, were you on the regular Chopped, or were you on just barbecue Chopped or something like that?
I was on Chopped Grill Masters.
Okay.
Is that the one Craig Carter was on?
No, he was on. He was in studio filming Chopped. Mine was filmed outside at a petting zoo in Queens, New York.
Okay.
And we were cooking on grills. We had grills to do our cooking.
Yeah. Okay. No, I know there's 2 separate ones. I don't know, for some reason Chopped became available. I haven't watched Chopped in forever. So I'm like, I'm going to watch this and see if there's anybody I know on it. And then as I was watching it, it popped into my head that you said you were on it. And I did some searching for you and some other people. And it's actually the Chopped Grill Masters. And I think that's a whole different.
Yeah.
It's a different show.
They haven't done a season of that since my season.
They haven't done the barbecue one either since then
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Because I was an
yeah.
alternate for the Memphis category.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
I sat in the coat closet waiting for someone to cut their finger.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, no, I happened to, well, I've been watching Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. It shows you how hard up I am for entertainment. But I ended up, I don't know if for those who've been to Chicago, I don't know if you've ever been to Smoke Barbecue down in the city there, but they had them on, and my good friend Barry Sorkin was on there. And
Yeah, I've seen that.
and I sent him a picture, and I'm like, Barry, I said, you look like you're 18 years old in this. I said, how old was this show? And it was a good like 15 years ago. But
Yeah.
he looked so young. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
What has Pat got on here? He's got the new smoke show is packed in the trailer for the this weekend's competition. So
Yeah. Pat's taking my class as well.
yeah.
Yep.
Michelle said she had to drop, so she's out. Yeah. We're almost done anyway.
My laptop's about ready to run out of battery too. So
that's perfect time. Ferg, thanks for coming on. And we look forward to that announcement. And thank you very much for coming on the show. Awesome products. So we'll hopefully get to hear that great news that you got coming up.
Yeah, it'll be coming out soon. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and the website is fergoliciousbbq.com.
Excellent. And thank you very much again. And then look for his classes. They are well worth it. Get signed up, get in there. Excellent, awesome classes. I've watched one and I tasted all the food and it's fantastic. And the people learned a whole bunch of stuff. So, Fergie, I almost called you Rich again. Fergie, thanks for coming on. Always looking forward to chatting with you. And looking forward to that big, huge announcement. And like I said, thanks again for taking some time to be on tonight.
Hey, thank you very much for having me again. I appreciate it very much.
All right. See you.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Right.
Bye.
I can get you off the screen there. There we go. What a night of spectacular, fantastic barbecue news. I actually survived getting rid of all the electronics and stuff that Ryan usually does because God bless him. He does a lot of great stuff. Thank you to Michelle for jumping on really quick. She had to be somewhere, so she jumped off really quick. So thank you for all that. Everybody, thank you for signing in. Ryan, look forward to having you back next week. And next week, speaking of everything going international, next week we have Third Wave. Man, I can't talk tonight. I'm calling Fergie Rich. I'm calling all this kind of weird stuff tonight. We have Third Wave Barbecue from Australia is scheduled to be on. It's a little kind of rough getting everything kind of worked out with them. So hopefully everything will work out. I can get all the links to them and everything, but look up them on Instagram, Third Wave Barbecue. Check out some of their videos. They are absolutely incredible and amazing. The type of stuff they cook, the stuff they serve, the plates are huge. So give them a look to kind of get you ready for next week's show. But Third Wave Barbecue from Australia is going to be on the show. I'm a big fan. I watch it all the time of all the stuff they cook down there as far as at their restaurant. Again, thank you to Fergie for coming on. Fergolicious BBQ. Get in, check it out. Get to your local store like Wanamaker's. Get yourself some of his rubs. Wanamaker's, I do have the sample section, so there are a bunch of his rubs in there to sample if you want to taste them before you buy it. Otherwise, you can go to fergoliciousbbbq.com and order them directly from him. And you could probably go to Barbecue Pro Shop or Barbecue Superstore and pick yourself up some stuff. I'm just looking at my Instagram feed over here, and it's all frozen up. Go figure what kind of day it's been. So with that, everybody, thank you for coming on. You can follow us on Facebook, TikTok, I guess. I don't do too much on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. That is where the show goes live. So follow us there. It's all about the barbecue. Also on Facebook, I did start a page for Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. So kind of follow that. To go live on there, I have to have 100 followers. So please, if you can, go to Thursday Night Barbecue Chat on Facebook and follow that. And follow Ryan's page, Barbecue Blackstone and Beer. He's on all the same as well. And if you're looking for something interesting and exciting to do in the car, you can always listen. We are on Spotify on the replay. So give that a watch, or actually a listen. Ryan, thank you very much for signing in and saying hi. Hope everything went well with the soccer today. Missed you, buddy. Can't wait for you to be back here next week because man, this technological stuff gets me all messed up. Heck, I can't even talk straight. So with that, everybody be kind and courteous to everybody. Hey, it's our differences that makes this country great. So let's be a little more tolerant of people who are different than you are. Because heck, who would want to live in a world where everybody's exactly the same? And as always, shop local, shop small, support your small local store, get to the local family-owned barbecue restaurant, get to the local just regular restaurant, buy your stuff from a small hardware store, barbecue supply shop. Let's support the community and let's just give back to love, because that's what it's all about. So with that, I am signing off exactly at an hour. Thank you, everybody, again. Like I said, see you next week at 7 p.m. Central Time for Thursday Night Barbecue Chat with Third Wave Barbecue from Australia. Hopefully, let's have our fingers crossed. All right, everybody. See ya.
Thank you so much, guys. You've been absolutely amazing. Thank you. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.